Are you a big fan of Jason? Do you miss the classic Friday the 13th films? Well, you're in luck. Some huge news has just arrived. Did you know that the original director of Friday the 13th, Sean S. Cunningham, has pretty much confirmed a new reboot? You won't believe what he said about his plans for the franchise. Let's discuss the rumor of a new Friday the 13th reboot with the original director. Many horror fans believe that this has been a long time in the making. With the release of reboots from a bunch of horror's biggest franchises, from the new Scream film to Halloween getting rebooted, it's hard not to notice the lack of Friday the 13th content coming our way. Since countless horror reboots are hitting theaters this year, fans of Jason couldn't help but wish for new content. It has been a long time. Did you know we haven't gotten a new addition to the series since 2009? That's an insanely long time, especially considering how popular the series is. But why haven't they made a new movie in the franchise? Especially when classic horror reboots are all the rage right now. Well, would you believe it if I told you it was because of an intense legal battle between creators? Yeah, seriously. Sean S. Cunningham, the original director, has been suing screenwriter Victor Miller for years. It only came to an end very recently. But what are they even fighting about? Why can't they still make more movies? I'll tell you why. The legal battle began to determine who was the rightful owner of the franchise. This would define exactly when and how they can use Jason and the Friday the 13th name. Miller eventually won the copyright to the original Friday the 13th in the United States. But before any new content is made, Cunningham and Miller have to come to an agreement. So, that's exactly why it's taken so long for new content to be made. Neither of them were willing to negotiate or work together, so the franchise has suffered for so many years with no reboot or sequel in sight. Can you believe that? But wait, there is some exciting news that may just be exactly what fans of the franchise need. Are we finally getting what we've wanted this whole time? Maybe. Okay, so remember Victor Miller, the original screenwriter? Well, he is apparently working on a prequel to Friday the 13th called Crystal Lake. Awesome, right? But that's not all. The series is produced in collaboration with Hannibal's Brian Fuller and A24, two major studios. If anyone can make a good prequel to an incredible horror series like this one, it's these guys. But is that really it? Not that it isn't exciting, but after 14 years with no new content, is all we're going to get is this prequel series? Well, maybe not. There's a new rumor going around that just might change everything. The original director, Sean S. Cunningham, was mentioned by Jeff Locker, who claims they're going to attempt to create the first sequel in 14 years. The two worked together on the upcoming horror film, The Night Driver. And while working together, they developed the idea for a return to Jason's world. They're pretty confident this idea won't fall apart when it comes to the legal side of things, which is a great sign and better news than we've gotten in a long time. But in case it does fall apart, they have a plan B. Locker went on to say that the excitement surrounding Miller's prequel will add fuel to the fire and hopefully make this sequel idea an even bigger hit. Hopefully nothing will stand in their way this time around. Jeff Locker and Jeremy Wise sat down with Bloody Disgusting to talk about their plans for the franchise. When asked about a potential reboot being in the works, Jeff said this: "Sean hired me to do a rewrite on The Night Driver, and after working closely with director Jeremy Wise and him on that, we naturally got to talking about Friday the 13th and House." He went on to add that Jeremy and I pitched our dream reboot of Friday the 13th with Sean's blessing to keep developing it with him. What's so exciting about this is we have some of the original team and some newcomers, which fans think is the perfect combination to make this next film incredible. But what was there to say about the actual reboot idea? Locker was quoted as saying this about their project: "Obviously, the prequel TV series has reignited interest about a new film, so we're hoping the surrounding excitement will inspire both sides to come together." Sounds absolutely amazing! Using the excitement for the prequel to increase demand for a sequel seems like the ideal strategy. This would be the absolute best time to bring Jason back to the big screen once again. And what's even more exciting is this. Like I said, they have an alternate plan in case they face legal issues. The proof is in this quote. But we also have a plan B for a sequel to the original we think fans will absolutely love and should avoid any legal entanglements. Can you believe that? It looks like we're closer than ever to getting to see Jason for the first time in forever. Speaking of, did you know that since the last movie in the series 14 years ago, the only content added to the franchise was Friday the 13th, the game?
They deserve to die.
But the game didn't last forever. In fact, they had to stop updating the game permanently because the lawsuit was still ongoing. When you think about that, it's pretty easy to understand fans' frustrations with the lack of content. However, now that the legal battle is over, these new rumors are really getting people excited. So what does that leave for us fans? What can we look forward to for now? And is there really going to be a new addition to the series? If this rumor about an upcoming sequel is true, the next Friday the 13th movie would actually be the 13th in the series. Isn't that amazing? But when it comes to this rumor, things like production times and release dates are not confirmed at all. In fact, the only confirmation we've gotten about a possible sequel is from Jeff Locker, discussing the possibility in the earlier quote. Other than that, we have no idea if or when we could be getting a new movie. But on the other hand, fans still have the excitement of the prequel series Crystal Lake to look forward to. Speaking of the prequel, there is currently no exact release date, which is disappointing to say the least. But we can allegedly expect the prequel to launch on the streaming service Peacock at some point this year. That means we'll be returning to the world of the beloved horror franchise this year. Isn't that so exciting? Want to hear something even more exciting? Since there's no more court cases to worry about, the chances of a reboot happening are better than ever. And with the OG director behind the idea for the reboot, how could anything go wrong? It seems like the odds are in favor of a new addition to the original series. And once the prequel airs on Peacock, fans of the original series are going to need a new movie more than ever. Especially because the next sequel they make will be the 13th installment. Crazy, right? Anyway, what do you think? This has been everything you need to know about the rumor of a new Friday the 13th reboot.